Hi everybody. Today what I would like to do is I would like to install the Denali DM lights onto either side of my front fender here. Those are going to act as additional turn signals and running lights. And then what I would like to do is I'd like to start connecting parts of the Pan America wiring harness in here to places that it still has not been connected to, such as the front headlight here. I want to connect that. And then I will have to start routing wires along the left side here. I've been kind of putting that off because I haven't mounted the controller yet, but I need to get to that because after today, the only thing I should have left to install is the D4 lights and the sound bomb horn. And I can't install either of those till I get the crash bars back on. So the crash bars hopefully will be coming back on tomorrow. So with that, let's go ahead and begin. So here is the DMs from Denali. I also ordered a amber lens kit for them. These are super heavy duty. They feel really dense and heavy. They're packed with a electrical pigtail. There we go. Packaged real nice. And yeah, this is super heavy duty. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to remove the clear lens in here and replace it with an amber lens. I watched a few videos. I've done a little bit of research on the internet about which type of lens is better to use or best to use. And, you know, the spotlight gives you a longer beam of light, but it's more narrow. And then the floodlight gives you a shorter beam of light, but the light is dispersed more widthwise. And Denali actually recommends a combination, one of each. They call it a hybrid. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to install one clear and one flood lens. Right. So first we need to remove this little adjustable bolt on the hinge. And to remove this, it's a T25 Torx bit. That comes right out. So let me put this aside. Okay. Now we have to remove the lens cover, and I'm going to use a 2mm Allen wrench. There we go. It's a little tight to begin with. And if you take note of where these screws are, you'll see that there's one on either side of this hinged area, and then you're going to skip one, and then in the center on the back side is the third one. So I'm about to finish removing the last screw that is holding down the lens cover. There we go. Put that to the side. Ooh. And you can see here that the lens came right out. There's a red gasket on there, and the lens appears to be glass or very thick plastic. Actually, yeah, it's probably, oh yeah, it's a thick like polycarbonate, so it won't shatter. So let me open this up. This is one of the lenses that comes in the lens kit, and I'm going to grab it from the edges. And then I'm just going to, let me see if there's a up or down side. I don't think so. It is ridged a little bit. The ridges or the flooded part, I think they call this like an elliptical shape on here. They protrude a tiny bit, so I'm going to put the protrusion to the outside, facing out. And then I'm going to pop the gasket back on. And it's that easy. Then we will line up the holes. and I will start screwing these back on. I wanted to take a moment to point out two things. One, this is the amber spot lens, the clear lens, and I thought it was really cool how Denali ships it with a soft clear plastic covering on either side of the lens to protect it from getting scratched, I guess in shipment, and also to protect it from your finger oils, so you just reach in the bag and grab it. And these little tabs are here so you could take the plastic covers off. I thought that was really a nice way for them to ship a quality product. And then also, I wanted to mention that when you remove the screws to remove the lens cover on the DMs, be sure to use some type of blue Loctite. I noticed that as I removed them, that Denali had initially put them in with blue Loctite. I don't have the Loctite brand here. I have a generic version, but I did put a drop on each screw as I reassembled each light. Now I'm going to remove the topmost fastener that's here on the side of the fender. I'm using a T25 Torx to remove this bolt. Oh, that was super loose. Okay. When you open up the Denali fender mount kit, there's going to be about 8 different bolts in it. And some are M6, some are M5, and they're also going to vary in length. This is the M5 60 millimeter machine screw. So the way these go on is you put the light on first, and then you put these spacers on, and then they'll go in here, which should space the light out the proper amount. So let me grab my light here. I've chosen to put the flood style lensed light on this right side. So what we'll do is we will put the screw through there, or the machine bolt through there, whatever the proper term is. And this is going to take 2 spacers. When you get the kit, there's going to be 3 spacers, 2 large spacers and 1 small spacer. This is going to take the 2 large spacers. And then, in order to fasten it, the bolt here takes a 2.5 Allen wrench. I believe the instructions say it's supposed to be a 3 millimeter Allen wrench, but this 2.5 millimeter fits it better, so that's what I'm using. Before I install it, I'm going to put a drop or 2 of blue Loctite here at the end of the screw. Denali in their instructions recommend this, and it's always a good habit to get into when you're mounting these kind of things. They're going to take a lot of vibration. So now I will use, there we go, my Allen wrench to fasten this. There we go. Okay. I'm not going to tighten it up all the way yet because I want to adjust this, and I guess the way I will do that is maybe I'll put a level on it and try to get it level. You'll feel that when you have it almost fully tightened, that the back of the light hits the molded part of the side fairing here, I guess what you would call this. That's fine because in this position it's canted up a little bit. I would be worried if it was canted down, but it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and I guess do my best to put kind of a level on here, even knowing that my garage is graded a little bit. I'll kind of account for that. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And I guess in the end, if it's really off, I can just park it in front of my house at night and, adjust it in the evening. But, well, I am unsure how scientific this is. But I have a little magnetic level that I placed on the light. And I have it balanced right here on the lens cover, which is the thickest, and it's also the flat part. The rest of the light is canted backwards, so you don't want to rest it on there. And you can see I got it level. I got it pretty tight. So this is kind of my plan to keep them as level as possible on either side of the fender. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I've installed the second DM light onto the side of my fender. So that's what they look like. I'm not going to test them yet. I know from watching one of the Denali videos that you can't test these until the DialDim has switched power, and you don't get switched power until you connect it to a headlight. So next I'm going to go ahead and remove my headlight. I could tell you that there are two bolts on either side. There's one just above the headlight, and the other one is just directly in the opposite side. You'll need a T40. That's what this is. It's a T40 Torx bit. And the one thing to note here is that, the headlight is big and heavy. So as you loosen it, it's going to start to hang down because it's tightened at the correct angle to throw the light out in front of you and not blind the cars in front of you and all that. So you're going to have to create some type of method to know exactly what position to put it back into. So what I did was I cut this little piece of wood, and it's a nice spacer. It fits directly in the center against the back of this metal piece here, and it touches the bottom, or excuse me, it touches the top of the light to the bottom of this light up here. And so I know that when I put the headlight back in, I will angle it up until this piece of wood is wedged back in there, and I'll tighten it down, and then I can just take the wood out. And the light should be in the proper position. Use whatever method works best for you. So next I'm going to go ahead and connect the wiring harness to the headlight. I have removed the headlight from its mounting points there, and it rests gently in here, so that's kind of nice. I hope that I can catch this on camera, but the headlight connector here has like a little clip that you have to pull up on in order to remove it. So I'm going to try to do that. It's tight quarters here, so it's my belief you have to remove the headlight from its mount to get this done. Okay, so let me try to wiggle this out now that I'm pulling the clip up. There we go. So I'm going to gently put the headlight down for a moment. There we go. Okay, so this is the wiring harness here, and then this is the OEM headlight plug. So what I am going to do is I'm going to plug the OEM plug into the pass-through here. Nice positive click. And then next I will plug this into the headlight. Here we go. Okay, that is now on. There was no loud click, but I did see the clip on top pop down. So it's in there. And I will leave this here. And then I'll go ahead and mount this up using that little block as my spacer so I know what angle to tighten down on. And then after that, we can test out the DMs. Okay, so I have everything wired up to test the DMs. I have them plugged directly into the controller down here in the on the second circuit, which is marked with a green tag. I did that because the second circuit is the one that comes from the factory with the default to act as your turn signals or in conjunction with your turn signals. The reality is when I hook them up permanently, I'll be using extensions in between the DMs and the controller. I just didn't want to bother with those at the moment. And then this is the controller here. It's just hanging loose right now because I forgot to order the perch mount for this, so that is on the way right now. It should be here hopefully tomorrow. So let's see if this works. Okay, there's the power. I saw a light come on. Let's see. If you double click, there we go. There's the second circuit. And they're on, it looks like 10%. Okay, that's off. 10. 20, 30. You can dial them all the way up to 100. Very nice. So we'll put these down to 10. Oh yeah, those are really bright. Geez, even at just 10%. Now we will test how well they function as signals. Oh, that is so good. They're very, very bright. Perfect. And then I'll test the flashers. I don't believe they function as emergency flashers, though. Okay, yeah, they don't. But they look really good, and they're very bright. All right, I'm really happy with that. This is the sound bomb horn wiring harness here. And you can see here that there are battery leads and an inline fuse, just like on the DialDim controller wiring harness. So I'm going to connect these to the leads real quick, and then after that I'm going to come back and try to mount the controller in the battery area. So let's knock this out real quick. I have connected the leads for the horn onto the battery, so you can see here there's two separate connections with their own inline fuses. Now I'm going to take some alcohol pads here, and I'm going to clean the controller all the way around, because I might connect it with double-sided tape at more than one side. So we'll just kind of let that dry. And then I'm going to get another alcohol swab and go ahead and clean under here. It's going to be a small area, so it's not as big as I had hoped for the double-sided tape to latch onto, but we'll see how it does here. Okay, getting that tape off was not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but it is now mounted and it feels fairly solid. I guess in essence, I just needed to be on there long enough for me to route the wiring and then to get the skid plate back on. And if I need to find some stronger tape, I can always do so and let this hold it for now. All right, I'm back here at the battery area of the Pan America, and after I had taped up the controller per my original plan, and I started routing wires, the controller just fell off the tape like within, I don't know, 10 or 12 minutes. It was pretty quick that the tape failed. So I've been searching for a different way to do this, and I think I found a solution. This right here hanging off the battery is, I believe, the voltage regulator. I hope I have that correct, that term correct. But whatever it is held on with only 2 bolts. It takes a T30 Torx bit to take this off. So there's only 2 of them, and they are located in the center in between the fins, one on the top and one on the bottom. They're really easy to get to. So I just remove those 2 fasteners, and it just hangs off the side like that. And my new plan is to go ahead and tape the controller where I originally planned. This is going to be tougher to do than to explain. Here we go. So I'm going to tape it up in the original location I had been planning on taping it to. And then I'm going to grab, let's say, 2 or 3 of the wires that are at the top of the controller, and I'm going to put them above the lower fastener of the voltage regulator. I'll, of course, do it neater than what you're seeing here. And then I'm going to fasten the regulator back up, and that lower fastener will now hold the weight of the controller up. So really the tape is just there to hold it flat and secure against the battery box, and I really don't have to worry about it coming off again. And then I'll route wires. So that's kind of my plan now. And because the previous tape failed so quickly, I went back to one of the big box hardware stores, and I got some Gorilla mounting tape. It says it holds up to 30 pounds, which should be plenty. And I did a little bit of research about this online, and you can even just see it on the back of the package here. It tells you that this is basically a permanent bond, so this should work much better than the previous tape. So this is the plan for now. I'm going to go ahead and get this all connected and mounted, and then start routing wires, and hopefully it should go smooth from here on out. Here is a look at the controller now. I have remounted the voltage regulator with 3 of the controller wires above the lower fastener that holds this up. And you can see here that the weight is supported 100% now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave it loose like this for the moment. And I'm going to route wires. And then once everything's routed, then I will use some double-sided tape and just simply stick it up firmly against the battery box. That way it doesn't, move around and rattle. And that should do it. But this is really firm and strong, and I am very happy.